Alright, hello and welcome to another Marvel Snap video. So I wanted to kind of change it up today. I was on my phone just looking at stuff, and I got recommended to look at this Marvel Snap meta tier list. I have an Android, so it can you open Chrome, it gives you oh, these are things that you might be interested in. I don't normally look at the meta, but I decided to click on this and I noticed some pretty weird things. And not too surprising, I guess. It's just I'm not normally in touch with what the meta is. I have a general feel for decks I see a lot, decks that I find annoying. So, I kind of have ideas of what exactly is good and what isn't. But I wouldn't tell you, oh, this is a tier 1 deck, this is a tier 2, tier 3, right? I wouldn't be able to tell you that. So when I was looking through it, I was surprised to see some of the things. I just kind of want to make a video, talk about it with you guys about it. If you want to see me do this more often, let me know in the comments. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, interact with it to let me know. 'Cause at the end of the day, I want to give you content you want to see. Um, but yeah, so looking at it, I don't know if these are ranked top to bottom. Like this is the best deck in the game is this Silver Surfer deck. Uh, Based off a combination of win rate, cube rate, it would probably imply that, but it's hard to say. They're all very close together. Um, so yeah, just kind of going through it. This is a generic Silver Surfer deck. It has Galacta in it, no other 4 drops. I looked at it earlier, and I don't really feel like going into it again. It's not too surprising that Silver Surfer is I've been seeing Silver Surfer a lot, but I wouldn't say that I thought it was a top contender deck. I guess I will pull it up. Um, I didn't this is the list. I assume these lists are with a grain of salt. I don't think I've ever seen this list. I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever played against this list. I haven't seen a Silver Surfer deck in a while run Luke Cage, so I'm assuming this is just Silver Surfer decks in general, not this specific one. And I'm going to assume that for the rest of these to kind of make sense of them. So Silver Surfer, I was surprised to see this high. It does have a high win rate, and it's pretty easy to retreat, which would give you that high cube average. Um, Thanos Control. I looked at this deck and I kind of chuckled a little bit because um, this looks like the most generic Thanos list you would have saw a year ago pre-Thanos change for the stones now buffing him. It's literally Loki and then tech, 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 Mockingbird, generic good card, 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 blob. It's it literally looks like a typical Thanos deck. So I guess we've gone really full circle on the Thanos thing now, and now Thanos is back to being one of the best decks. Um, I don't think I've really seen that deck that much, which is I kind of why I'm surprised to see it up here. The next one, the High Evo deck. This obviously the list isn't the one I made yesterday, but um, High Evo Affliction being this high is crazy to me. Um, and when I look at this, I go, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? You don't see Luke Cage in any of these decks, which would explain why you're seeing High Evolutionary Evo be able to thrive. What then doesn't make sense to me is what happened to all the anti-venom decks? No nerf hit any of those decks. It was a deck that leveraged Luke Cage, so it basically pinned out all the high evo toxic decks that were going around, and then it was doing the same thing but better, really. Wait, I don't understand how that deck just disappeared. I don't have anti-venom, or I'd probably use the deck and love it. I'm just kind of confused there on what's going on there. Thanos ongoing. I don't really think I need to show you this deck. I think I have been seeing this deck everywhere. So maybe everyone hasn't been, but I've been seeing this deck constantly. I don't think I've been seeing it with Captain Carter, but general idea, I've been seeing the deck a whole lot. Super frustrating deck. Goliath just being a generically good stat stick of a 2-9 is just crazy. So yeah, I like this deck makes sense. I'm surprised to see high Evo this high, but it makes sense with not a lot of Luke Cage. But like this deck could easily run Luke Cage. This deck could easily run Luke Cage. Um, there's a few other decks that could reasonably run Luke Cage, especially with right move control being right here. It's in tier 2, but like not that far below. Like you have you have two decks that are really good at like leveraging toxicity. You'd think that Luke Cage would come back up in the meta. And then this deck, I've played this deck a few times. I have lost to it a few times, but I'm surprised it's this good. Like, I'm really interested with the fact that Bright Havoc actually being played, in my opinion, really cool. I like that a lot. He's a really cool card, and people finally figured out how to build around him. I can't run this deck because I don't have Sage or Athena, or I would run this deck, and I think it's a really fun deck. My thing is, it seems fairly techable. Like, a lot of the times your Athena or your Havoc are getting to big power, like 10 by turn like 5. So it is a pretty interactable deck, especially if you're running Shadow King, which no deck right now is running Shadow King, so I guess it's not really that big of a threat, but it could be a threat in the future. So those are the top tier 1 decks. Those are the best decks right now. And then you have 3 tier 2 decks and a bunch of tier 3 decks. So in tier 2 you have Scream Move Control, which makes sense. This is the deck I got to Infinite with. I would say it is a really good deck. You see a low cube average, but basically it's pretty easy to know when to retreat, pretty easy to put your cubes in when it matters. Like if you have a Scream on 2, you're snapping like almost every time because Scream on 2 is just that big of a deal. Especially if you then also have another good card. Like if you have Scream on 2 with like either Craven, Kingpin, Juggernaut, or Cannonball, like literally Scream with any of those 4 cards, you're in an insane position where Scream will probably win you a lane, and then one of those other 4 cards will probably win you another lane. So that deck's really strong. I'm really comfortable with it, which is why I know it. Obviously, it's low cube rate. You kind of need Scream for it to matter. It's very difficult to win games without Scream, just because Scream right is a 4 power swing every time you move a card. It shuts down Sam Wilson, which is a trend in a lot of these decks are running Sam Wilson because he's just so generically good. Kind of like the new Jeff. It's like, oh, I just need a generically good stat stick. Throw Sam Wilson. It's a 2-3 stat line that grows to be really big. I don't even know what this deck is. I still don't really know what this deck is. What am I? I have never seen this deck in my life. I understand what the deck is trying to do. But why? Mockingbird, there are 2 cards that affect Mockingbird. It's just Mysterio and Iron Patriot. Mysterio is here also for Sasquatch. Oh, Sam Wilson Shield also. Okay. Then you have Gwenpool, Enchantress, Galacta, Hope Summers. How do you need? I have literally never seen this deck. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I thought that was the Sarah deck that I used a while ago because someone told me that it was a good deck to use with Captain Carter. I thought that's what that deck was. This is Mr. Negative. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that Mr. Negative is a tier 2 deck. Because I guess it's kind of like Scream, right? You need Mr. Negative on 3 for it to matter. And then really you also need, a lot of the times you'll still need Jane Foster to be able to pull all those cards from your hand, from your deck to have like just that nut win. But if it works, it works. So That's true. And then looking at the tier 3 decks, the big interest to me here was looking at Mill. Mill being this high is like wild to me. I said it a while ago that I thought Mill was a really good deck, but it's a very high skill deck in my opinion. You need to be what Mill provides you is a lot of knowledge on what your opponent can do and wants to do. If you're very comfortable with the meta, like I play every single day because I make content every single day, right? So I play probably more than the average player. So I know a lot about the decks that are going around right now. I have a feel for what people want to be doing. And Mill allows you to kind of work off that, right? Yondu, Cable, Gladiator, Baron, Zemo. You have 4 cards that are giving you information about what cards are in your opponent's deck. You can then figure out from that what cards are in your opponent's hand, and kind of determine it from there. And then knowing when to properly destroy cards so you can interact even more or allow yourself to generate high power things like a lot of demons can be very good. I personally do not like the death variation, and I never liked it before, but I definitely don't like it now that Yondu is no longer destroying cards, so he's not helping with your death. I think it's better to just run a different card in this slot, like another tech card, like Red Guardian or Shadow King. Because like I said, based off this, Shadow King hits really good here, hits really good here, here and here. Both of these cards get hit. This one gets hit really hard by Shadow King. So I think running Shadow King in place of that would be a lot better because Mill doesn't run cards that generate power, so you're able to slot in Shadow King there. I think this Clog deck was kind of weird to me too. I haven't seen a Clog deck running a Doc Ock, or they just never play him against me. I'm not really sure which one. But yeah, I just Clog as a whole. I'm not surprised to see it up here. I feel like it's pretty common, but it doesn't win too often against a player that knows what they're doing. But I'd imagine it kind of beats up on people that like panic and don't really know how to play against Clog. Bounce move, I'm not surprised. I think it probably has a low play rate, and it like when it wins really hard, and then sometimes you just get like all of your bounce cards and none of your move cards, and it's like, what am I doing? Sauron, I'm surprised to see this low. I feel like Sauron is pretty good, just no one's playing it really. But I also don't have Starbrand, so I'm not running Sauron. I'm just surprised to see it this low because I feel like it is just so many generic stat sticks. But it could also be the like Taskmaster nerf from forever ago is like haunting this deck still. Because I think if Taskmaster is a 5 and you're still able to like Taskmaster Ebony Maw in turn 6, it's probably a different story, but maybe Scar counteracts that a little bit. And this is the really surprising, probably the most surprising thing to me is looking at the bottom of the tier 3s. You have Bullseye discard and listed as Dracula discard, but the Khonshu discard deck. And I feel like I lose to these decks every time I play them. Like if I see a discard deck, I lose like 90% of the time, I feel like. So I don't understand how these are tier 3 decks. Like this deck's insane. It's just like, cool, play Morbius on 2, play Gambit on 3, and then do whatever the hell you want later on. Like, turns 4 and 5, it doesn't matter. Discard everything in your hand and then Khonshu on 6, and then your dreams come true. And it's like, what the hell? So like to me, I think it's like kind of crazy. Like at least that's what it feels like to me. It feels like I just watch people Modok their whole hand on 5, and then they Khonshu on 6, and it like pukes up a Dracula, and then Dracula eats Conch or eats like Apocalypse, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell is this? So it's like, what do you do when they play a 6 fucking 30 on turn 6? Apparently everyone has an answer but me based off this. I don't understand. And then same thing with like Bullseye discard. Like what? This deck's insane. Like Dakin for Dakin is like the most insane playline to me ever. So I don't understand how it's this low. I feel like if Bullseye's on the board, I lose like 90% of the time because this deck's able to protect your Bullseye like pretty well. Like, I guess it really isn't actually now that I'm looking at it, but I don't run Grandmaster in mine, so I don't. I guess I don't like this list. But like, as long as you can protect your Bullseye, it doesn't really matter. Like, they can hit your they can tech your Morbius, and it's like that's unfortunate, but you can live with it. They could tech your Morbius and Collector, and then you're like, cool, I still have two 16 Dakins, and you wasted 7 energy teching me, so I don't really care. So, to me, this deck's incredibly strong, and I lose to it a lot, so I'm surprised that it's listed as the bottom of the tier 3 meta, so like, I don't really understand that. And this is for Infinite, I believe. This is the Conquest, so I assume ranked is that. The other thing I wanted to look at is I just saw they had a high voltage thing, so I wanted to look at it. Oh man, my deck's the tier 3 deck. What the heck? What deck am I supposed to be running? Patriot. I'm not gonna run Patriot. Wait, is this why people are running fucking Baron Zemo on me? I never understood that, because people are just like pulling Baron Zemo, and I'm like, why is everyone running Baron Zemo? Is it because of these things telling people to run Baron Zemo? There's 2 Silver Surfer decks and 2 Patriot decks in the top 5, 10, whatever this is. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through this because I thought there were some interesting things that I was seeing and like some things that didn't really make sense to me. Um, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, let me know. Subscribe for future videos if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.